Now what I'd like to do is show you one of the hottest new marketing tools on the market, the RDC, or the Racquet Diagnostic Center by Babolat. What this machine will do is to allow you to market your stringing business more effectively and make more money doing it. One, it'll help you sell more rackets. Two, it'll help you increase the frequency of your string jobs and of your stringing customers. Three, it'll help you increase traffic flow in your shop. And four, it'll help you do customization and make money there too. Now what I'd like to do is to take a racket and run it through the RDC and show you exactly how this is going to work. We'll take a racket and first we're going to do weight. So we flip out the weight plate, press the button, drop the racket on there, and this racket is 293 grams. Then we're going to do string bed deflection. String bed deflection is a value of tension, but it's not directly related to tension. What I mean by that is the number that we're going to get up here is not a tension value. It's 52. That is an arbitrary number on a scale of 1 to 100 to allow us to compare and to do relative power and control ratings. Now we're going to do frame flexibility. Once again, this number is on a scale of 1 to 100, so it's going to allow us to just compare with different rackets and come up with power, control, and maneuverability ratings. Finally, we'll do swing test. Swing test is a measurement of the dynamic inertia of a racket. We'll lock that value into the computer. Now that we have all the tests done, what we need to do is analyze this data and see exactly what it means. Now these numbers might mean something to a professional stringer, but to the average customer, they don't really understand what frame flex and string dynamics mean. So what we need to do is break that down to those into terms that they can understand. And how we're going to do that is we're going to let the RDC do it. Press the diagnostic button, and the machine will give you a power, control, maneuverability rating for the racket. So here we have a power rating of 46, which is a B, a control rating of 56, which is a B, and a maneuverability rating of a 91, which is an A. Now those ratings are just like in school. They're on a scale of 1 to 100. An A is excellent, a B is good, and a C is average. What these numbers mean is I can take and run every one of my rackets through this machine and categorize my racket wall by power, control, and maneuverability. Therefore, when a customer comes in and tries a racket from me, I know exactly what the power, control, and maneuverability rating for that racket is. If he liked it, that's great. I can keep letting him try rackets in that category. If he felt he wanted a racket with more power, I can find a racket with more power on my wall and let him check that out and see if he likes that one. The other thing it enables you to do, if a customer comes into your shop and knows that he wants to buy one brand of racket, you want to make him feel confident in his decision. You don't want him just to walk out of your place with a racket, go try it on court, and not really like it. So what you want to do is take him over to your racket wall and give him maybe that racket and another racket with a similar power and control rating so that he can feel the differences in two different brands of rackets. You may make more money on one brand than on the other brand. Therefore, you may be able to push him over to that other branded frame, and you make more money on the frame, and he's even happier because he's tested out two rackets that are very similar and chosen the right one for his game. This is going to increase your racket sales tremendously. Just think about it when Susie goes to the club and says, hey, Bob figured out what I was doing with a computer and gave me the right racket for my game. That's excellent. The word of mouth that you're going to get in advertising is priceless. That's the first way it's going to increase your sales. The second way it's going to increase your sales is by increasing string frequency. And how are we going to do that? Well, every racket that you string, you're going to take over to the RDC and you're going to take a string bed measurement. When you take that string bed measurement, you're going to write down that value. What you're going to do with that value is to compare it with another string bed value maybe 1 month or 2 months later. So you're going to string up the racket, you're going to say, Susie, come back in a month and let me test your racket again, and let's see how much tension it's lost, how much resilience it's lost. So what you do is you take the tension, you take the reading, you press a diagnostic key, and you go into what we call our gas tank feature. So we can tell how much potential energy the racket has left. Let's say that when we initially strung this racket, since we have to make it up, We strung it at 65 pounds, and we got a deflection value of, let's say, 78. So what we're going to do is, it says test value today is 52. What was the initial value? So we're going to punch the up key until it reads 78. It says that the potential energy left in this racket is 26%. So we have a test value of 51. We set our initial value as 78, so we'll punch that in. So here we have 23% potential energy left in the racket. We recommend restringing at anything less than 50%. So this racket definitely needs a string job. Let's say, for instance, that potential energy was only 70%. You can look right at Susie and say, Susie, you don't need a string job this month. Come back and see me next month. The credibility that you're going to build by turning away that customer that month and having her come back to test her racket another day without just, well, Susie, feels like you need a new string job. You're actually using a computer to figure out whether she needs a string job or not. Once again, the credibility of that and the word-of-mouth advertising you're going to get for that is tremendous. Plus, the tennis players out there want to come back in and they want you to test their racket because they want to see where it is today. It almost becomes a game. That's the second way it's going to increase the frequency of your string jobs. It's going to get people paying more attention to their strings. That leads me to the third thing, traffic flow. Even if Susie doesn't buy that string job the first time she comes in, she's in your shop one more time. She might need a pair of shoes, a pair of socks, sweatbands, or even a can of balls. She's going to make that purchase at your shop since she's already there getting her racket tested. It's going to increase the traffic flow, which is also going to increase your sales. So there's 3 positive ways that it's going to increase your sales. The number 4 thing is customization. Obviously, if you can test the weight, the balance, and the swing of each racket, you can match different rackets for each customer. So if Susie has 2 rackets and you test them both and they weigh the same but they don't balance out the same, you can add some lead tape to those rackets and charge her for the labor in that and make even more money. So the RDC is a marketing tool. It's going to help you bring customers into your shop, teach them about the game of tennis in a nice, easy way to understand, plus put more money in your pocket at the end of the week. It can get as technical as you want, but the key to it is to use it as a marketing tool.